Hello everybody, Diana with Diana Simplifies here. Let's talk supplements today. And I was thinking this would be a great live video if I could go live and just speak to anybody who want to talk about supplements, my friends, my subscribers, anybody who is interested in learning more about supplements. I do want to say at the very beginning, huge disclaimer, I am not a medical professional. I am not a doctor. I do not work in the medical profession. I think most of my subscribers know I clean houses for a living. I do have a college degree. My degree is not in anything medical. My degree is in art history. So I do have a background. I did some research assistant type work. I do know how to research things, and I do my research. And so this isn't going to be like a full-scale tutorial on supplements or anything like that. I had a subscriber, Cinderella Fan. Hello, Cinderella Fan. Thank you so much for asking me. A subscriber just wanted me to run through the supplements that I take and just discuss them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not giving you medical advice. I am telling you there are supplements that can change your health. And I don't mean they can cure you. I don't mean there's no fast fix to anything. Anything you see advertised, it's I can fix this, or this is going to help you, and it's just going to be immediate. There's really no such thing. There are things you can do, though, to really change the trajectory of your life. And so let's just discuss that. And we're just going to discuss things that I've used, things that have helped me. A lot of the things that I do with the supplements is literally trial and error. It isn't, oh, I'm just going to go get this handful of supplements and it's all going to work and everything's going to be great. That's really not how it works. And for an example, I've spent probably about a year using different blood sugar supplements until I settled on a couple that work for me. So every supplement is not going to work for you the same way it's going to work for your neighbor, the same way it's going to work for me, the same way it's going to work for my husband. We are all different people. So just as a medication will not work exactly the same in everybody, you might have a bad reaction to a medication. While it might do nothing to me, it might just fix my problem, or most medications are also not a cure. So let's just get that straight at the beginning. Most medications are not curing you. They're basically putting some sort of band-aid on things. Now, obviously antibiotics and things like that, if you've got a actual bacterial infection and you take an antibiotic, you will get well. But just in general, allergy medications, what do? They wear off. They work for the day and then it wears off. Same thing with your supplements. You're not taking the supplement to cure your problem. You're taking the supplement to feel better, to do better, to whatever your issue is, make your issue better. So if I'm taking something to help my blood sugar, to kind of help my system, to make my pancreas work better, or whatever it is we're talking about, but just for sake of saying, for like a blood sugar issue. If I'm taking a supplement for that, if I don't take it every day, it's not going to fix, my problem is just going to be up and down all over the place. So the first thing is we need to have some sort of, first of all, we need to know what we're doing. We don't just willy-nilly run around buying supplements. That's really not going to fix our problem. But also we need to make a plan. How are we going to take these supplements? Are we just going to willy-nilly take the supplements? Are we going to willy-nilly run out and buy supplements and we're going to take it today and tomorrow we're going to completely forget? Or do we have a plan laid out? For instance, I take a group of supplements in the morning and a group of supplements usually around bedtime, but I could take it 7 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock, 4 in the afternoon if that's what made me happy. It doesn't really make any difference. Now, for some of you have thyroid problems. A lot of times, I know my husband has thyroid issues. They will tell you don't want to be taking your supplements at the same time as your thyroid medication. So a lot of things, what he'll do is he'll take his supplements at nighttime. I think he mostly just does once a day, I think is what he does. Honestly, I don't know. So I can't really answer for him, but we both take a lot of the same things, and there's other things that we completely take different. And I take a lot more than he does, but he's very supplement oriented as well. And I can also tell you some supplements for cats that I've had great success with. I've had so many so many problems with my cats. So we'll talk about the cats toward the end. If you don't care about people and you want to hear about the cats, do some fast forwarding. You'll eventually get there. Okay, let's just start very simple. If you just say, Diana, I want something for immune system, where do I start? Let's do the basics. Where do you start with your immune system? It does not have to be this brand. This is not going to be a brand specific thing. I'm going to show you what I typically would use. Ester C, we really like Ester C. It does say on here non-GMO. It's come to my attention. Apparently oranges are all non-GMO. I did not know that, so I guess just sticking the non-GMO just makes you feel better. I don't know, but I have heard that, and I think I did look it up, and it was actually correct. So what is Ester C? It's vitamin C. This happens to be 500 milligrams. As far as your immune system goes, for 3 years now, we've been listening to this stuff about a virus, okay? My whole thing is, it's not just one virus. There's probably thousands of viruses. And I understand there's one specific one that we're dealing with, and I get it. But people are dying of other things. So instead of constantly being focused in on one thing, let's just broad spectrum it. Vitamin C is good for everything, okay? It's just a good immune supplement. And it should probably say on here, let's see. It says supports upper respiratory health. And then it has a little star, and the star probably says this hasn't really been scientifically whatever. Okay, right. But there are studies. There's so many studies of people doing so much better taking doesn't have to be Ester C, but taking vitamin C. So I would say, as far as building blocks, just start here. Now, I will also say, if you have acid reflux, I have really bad reflux issues. I've had it for years and years. I actually haven't taken vitamin C pretty much this whole year. And I've actually had quite a few illnesses this year. I've had two, this is a really unusual year for me. I've had two separate stomach viruses, which is very strange. I haven't had like a true stomach virus in years. And this year I had two. So, what's going on? I don't know. And thankfully, they were like, the second one was less than 24 hours. The first one dragged on a little longer, but, it was over within 2 days, I would say. I was fine. But generally, if you don't struggle with acid reflux, I would say definitely take vitamin C. If you do have acid reflux problems, try it and see what happens. If you're really struggling, if you feel like you're struggling worse, then I would just cut it out. Fruit juices are about the worst for, like orange juice. I can't eat oranges. I can't eat orange juice. And then when we're dealing with this is coming from oranges, basically. So that's kind of the downside. But anyway, that's what that is. Now, if you're going to say to me, just pare it down to me in a couple of items for your immune system, just pare your whole thing down to 2 items. Okay, this would be number one. And like I said, if you have acid reflux, just try it and see. And if it bothers you, just cut it back out. The next one I would say is D3. D3 is so important. It has been so minimized. People have no idea. Nearly everyone in America, if you're not on a D3 supplement, you are really, really have very low levels. And you will only know this if you go get tested. I get my levels tested twice a year. The low end, I want to say the low end is 30. It might be 40, but I think the low end normal is 30. It goes up to 100. And I have autoimmune disease. And so I want mine, this is me personally, from my reading, I've done a lot of reading over the years, a lot of reading. For my reading, if you have autoimmune, you want your numbers to be between 80 and 100. Is that a lot? Yes, it's a lot. Most people are nowhere near 80. Most people, when you go get tested, you're going to be below 30. If you're not on this, something like this, D3, you want to be on at least 5,000. 5,000 is minimal. Now, I metabolize this super well, and it's probably because I'm a very small person. So 5,000 is plenty for me. If you are, okay, my friend Alan is probably going to watch this at some point. My friend Alan will say, I take 10,000 every day. Alan is a string bean, but he's still weighs a lot more than I do because he's a guy and he's extremely tall. So he's very tall, he's very lean, very lanky, but because he is a guy and bigger, just in general, bigger than me, he can take 10,000. Me, it's too much. There is a toxic level Now, there's arguments about the toxic level. So there's no reason to hash that out. I will say my doctor is very concerned about the toxic level. And then you talk to natural doctors. I've talked to them online. I've personally talked to them on here on YouTube. And they're much less worried about the toxicity level. And they will tell you it is very difficult to get to a toxic level. So I'm not going to tell you you can't get there. But there are actual things. You can look it up and see, you know, what are the symptoms of vitamin D toxicity. And taking 5,000, I don't know that anybody has ever been toxic with 5,000. And I would say, as well as I metabolize it, if anybody was going to be toxic with it, it'd probably be me, just because that I do that well with it. So if I bump up to 10,000, I do go to a toxic level. Now, when I say that, that's like doctor talk. The doctor, okay, if you're at 100, you're fine. You're totally normal. If you're at 110, suddenly you're toxic. Okay, so I'm just going to roll my eyes about that. You just take that for what it is. Anyway, I would just say these are the building blocks. This is so important for the C virus. So important. Both of these really, but if you only have, let's say you only have money for one, take this one and take 5,000. Take it every single day. Don't take it once this week and once next week. That's not going to fix your problem, okay? You need this if you have autoimmune disease. You need this every single day of your life. If you have autoimmune disease, and I know most of the people I'm talking to right now, you have some type of autoimmune disease. You need to be taking 5,000. And it doesn't have to be this brand. Take whatever brand makes you happy. For whatever reason, the Spring Valley brand, I've had great luck with this. I do really well on this one, and we'll continue on, and I'll tell you the things. As the C thing went on, I spent literally, I'll tell people I spent hundreds and hundreds of hours. I'm sure it's thousands of hours studying it. And when I say studying it, I don't mean watching the television, okay? When the C happened, I turned the television off. This is generally what I do. When everybody's freaking out, I turn the TV off, because that is a fear-mongering thing, that if you want to fear-monger something, put it on the television. And I started reading and doing research, watching doctors. I like to watch alternative. Honestly, I watch alternative people. I don't watch the normal, everyday, whatever. So like Sanjay Gupta, I'm not watching him. If you like him, that's fine. I'm not against him, but that's not who I'm watching. I'm watching natural doctors, holistic doctors, alternative doctors. I talked to my chiropractor. I think he probably wasn't quite as up to speed as fast as I was, but he's become more up to speed at this point. And he's been through it. He went through a terrible, terrible ordeal with it, actually. It wasn't terrible. He didn't get to the hospital, but he was having enough problem that he nearly was in the hospital. So pretty bad for a chiropractor. Chiropractors have all kinds of tools and assets, things that normal people don't have maybe access to. So he has like a whole line of natural things that he can buy and take, and and he can sell it and all this kind of stuff. So he has access to things that you and I don't necessarily have access to, and he still almost ended up in the hospital. So it's very important to while you want to listen to some alternative stuff, not to just go, oh, I'm just going to latch onto this alternative person here, or a TV personality, or whoever, and I'm going to latch onto that, and I'm going to put all my money there, or all your eggs in the basket, or whatever. We don't want to do that. Let's learn and study from different sources. Not one TV station, not one news person, not one person over here. Not one alternative doctor, many alternative doctors. I've listened to so many doctors, so many. And I gleaned from all of them, frankly, and over months and months and months. It was like 2 years into it before I really understood the brain fog, the brain fog connection, and why people were having brain fog. And it took me a long time before I ever really got deep enough into it to figure that out. So it takes a lot of time to learn about these things. And to learn about supplements. It's not just 5 minutes supplement and then, okay, you're good to go. Okay, so I'm not going to keep on with this, but cod liver oil, and you'll notice all of these say immune health on them, but this was one of the things I first heard about, and it's vitamin A. You'll see it says plus vitamin A and D, so it's got some D3 in it. And I forgot to say this, when you're taking D, you want it to be D3. The prescription that your doctor gives you, if your doctor puts you on it, it's D2. It's not the same. D3 is, from my understanding, it's better. So You don't really want the prescription. You really want the over-the-counter. The prescription could be cheaper, you know, if your plan is cheaper and you can just get it for super cheap. But I still go with this. Unless you financially you just can't, then, you know, do what you have to do. But D3 is better, my opinion. Again, I'm not a doctor, just for my reading. Okay, so this is cod liver oil. So I just take one of these in the morning. That's for immune health. It's basically vitamin A is what it is. You're getting some vitamin A. That's what you're wanting to get, is a little bit of vitamin A into your system. Okay, now, I started taking zinc. This was one of the things right off the bat people were talking about, zinc, 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 zinc. A lot of people tell you 50 milligrams is too much. I'm a very small person. I take 50 milligrams a day. I'm still here 3 years later, still here. So take that for what you will. I hear numbers all over. Oh, you shouldn't take more than 25. You shouldn't take, I'm like, guess what? I started taking this and my migraines were cut way down. So a lot of people will talk about magnesium, and we're going to talk about magnesium for migraines, but this got, it didn't 100% get rid of them, but I got much better. Much, much, much better. And you'll notice again here, right here, immune health. It says immune health. And this was the brand that worked for me. This is what typically I wouldn't run out and buy Spring Valley. It wouldn't be first on my list. But I think I tried this and it worked. And then because I found it quickly. And there's different forms of zinc too. This isn't the most absorbed, or it's not the best type of zinc. It happens. This goes on all the time with these vehicles speeding past. It's just like a drag racing out here where I live. Anyway, sorry about that. I have a window open so I can get a little air. But anyway, I forgot what I was saying. But 50 milligrams of zinc, like I said, it hasn't hurt me. I don't remember where I was with this story, but immune health is very good. It's very, I think it's worth trying if you have headaches. Oh, I know what I was going to say. If you have constant headaches, if you wake up just about every day with a headache, I would try zinc or magnesium. Try one or the other and see if either one of them works. You know, try one by itself, and then if that didn't work, try the other one by itself. Don't pile all these on top of each other. You want to see what's working. So you want to start small and go outward from there. So like all these got added like one at a time, maybe two at a time, but not all this wasn't dumped in at once. Okay, so yeah, I think I tried this brand because it was just super easy to get at the time. And then I couldn't find it. And so I tried some more expensive brands. They didn't help my headaches at all. So you just kind of have to play around with it and just see what works for you. Spring Valley may do nothing for you. A better, more expensive brand may do something for you. So, you know, it's just this brand, like I said, this brand's just been working for me. So that's what I'm using. The Quercetin, this is another, again, immune support. Actually what I'm using this for is my sinuses. Because if you've been around with me for very long, you know I've got serious issues with my sinuses. This actually helps things drain, I've noticed. And so I've only recently started taking this again. took a different brand. I took the NOW brand. I don't know if it's now or NOW, but it's huge letters, NOW. So like big letters now, all caps. But I tried that brand, did nothing. And then I went to this cheap brand. Now this is actually expensive. I think this one's like $15. So it's not cheap, but not for Walmart, but it's pretty expensive. But it helps things drain. So I am continuing to use it, but also, Ranger's had an eye issue. This is something I give Ranger. Ranger's had an eye issue. I wasn't sure exactly how much I was supposed to give him, but I saw an alternative vet, he used to be in regular vet practice. Now he just is on YouTube and making money YouTube. But he's really gotten kind of sick of the whole veterinary, what do you want to call it? Cabal? I don't know what you want to call it. It's kind of the same as like the regular medical establishment where you can't get anything done. Now, I have a great vet, so I'm not bashing my vet at all. Love Ranger's vet. My pets are very well taken care of. But there are serious issues in the vet world. So anyway, I started giving him this for an eye problem, but I wasn't sure how much. So I would just like open a capsule and mix it in with some canned food, and he just eats it right up. And the funny and very strange thing is it firmed up his poop. He's had some poop issues, not bad enough to need any sort of medication or need any sort of like intervention or anything. I didn't talk to the vet and say, yeah, Ranger's really having a lot of trouble. Nothing like that, but I just noticed it really changed things. I'll just leave it at that. So we don't have to be graphic about it, but it firmed things up for him. I'm not really sure why. But anyway, it has zinc in it. So, and I didn't realize, whoop, of course I hit the top. Sorry, hang on. Ranger loves nothing better than for me to throw things at him. Sorry, Ranger. He was right behind me. It just flew out of my hand. Okay, so anyway, I didn't realize when I got it. In fact, I thought I was reading on it to see if there were extra things in it, because a lot of times these immune support things, for some reason, they add all this stuff. I really didn't want any zinc in it, but it has zinc. You see this little writing here, zinc 50 milligrams. So I quit taking the other, where's the other zinc? Oh, I almost threw that one too. They're all slippery. I quit taking this because this has a different type of zinc, but my headaches haven't started back. So I think it must be working. I'm not sure, because I started in the meantime I started magnesium. Just it's a long story. Let's see what else is good for the C word. I actually think Lysine is good for all viruses. The virus that I'm most familiar with is the herpes virus. So cold sores, if you have a problem with cold sores, this is excellent. And this is a capsule. This is just a capsule. Can't see because it's in that bottle, but it's just a capsule. Just white powder. It really has very little taste. You can give this to a cat pretty easily. You can open the capsule, give it to a cat. This is also good. Cats can get herpes. It's a little bit different, but it's basically the same as the shingles virus, basically. And I don't know if it's the same as shingles, but anyway, it's basically the same as a human herpes virus. And I had a cat that had herpes issue, and what worked for him better than the medication, not even kidding, there was a medication that was an antiviral. I can't remember what it was called, but it was an antiviral medication. This, when he started having a flare up, this knocked it out. So I always tell people, if you think you're getting shingles, my husband went through shingles. It was a terrible time. We did not know what to do for him at the time. Afterward, I learned what to do, and what you do is Lysine. You go to the doctor. I always tell people, go to the doctor, get the antiviral. You want to do exactly whatever the doctor tells you to do that, and take this, okay? I never tell people don't take the antiviral, because with the cat, I did both things. And again, it was the same type of virus, but it was affecting his eye. So it was very bad. His eye looked horrifying. So, but this, every time he had a flare, it got to where I did this and I didn't bother with the drug anymore. But for actual shingles can be excruciating. So I always tell people, go to the doctor right away. You've got to go to the doctor like within 48 hours and get your antiviral. It does not work if you don't get it right away. And you kind of need to know the symptoms of shingles, because like my husband, he kind of thought he had poison ivy. It was several days before we realized it was a little bit further into it than the couple days. They went ahead and gave it to him, but we didn't know about the Lysine, and we sure wish we did. Now we know, but I actually take this pretty much all the time for viruses, just for virus protection. Now see, I still got some viruses this year. It's not 100% foolproof, okay? It's never going to be. You can take a lot of this. If you have shingles, I gave up my cat a lot of this, probably equivalent to 4 or 5 of these capsules a day. So it didn't kill him, okay? He was fine. So if you get shingles, I would take a lot, because you want to knock it out. Because what happens with shingles is it gets all over. You get this horrible tingling, and the tingling is nerve damage. And some people, the nerve damage never goes away. So with shingles, you want to hit it hard with that Lysine and get that antiviral ASAP. So learn what it is. A lot of times it's on your trunk, but not always. It can also be on your face. So just keep that in mind. If you kind of think you have poison ivy, but you don't remember being around any poison ivy, it might be shingles, because that's what Spencer thought. And we just had no idea. We'd never been around shingles. We knew nothing. Okay. And he was fairly young when he got it too. It's real strange. Now, another thing, this is marketed for sleep. I actually cannot take this, because basically what happens, I can take this for one day. The next day, I might do okay sleeping. The first day, I sleep great. The second day, The third day, like, I'm wide awake. At night, I'll take it at night before bed. Wide awake. But they are giving this. They're actually giving it in the hospital. In the hospitals. Some hospitals. For the C virus, okay? And they give you quite a bit. This is 3 milligrams. And I think they give you like 9 milligrams. So that would be 3 pills. So you can take quite a bit of this. I would just say, like for me, when we did have the C virus, I didn't take it. I don't know. I don't even think we had any. I knew about it and I knew it was good for it, but we had other things we had things we were using, so we just used that and we did fine with it. It was basically I would say it was kind of a very light flu is kind of what we had. Some body aches. My sinus thing was very minimal, which was weird because everything is, I deal with the sinuses. Now, are you having, okay, this says on here supports restful sleep. So that's what it's basically marketed for sleep. Okay, are you having stress in your life? Where's my other? Yeah. Okay. Stress. Are you feeling anxious? Do you feel like you have anxiety? Maybe you have anxiety. Maybe you're really not sure what's going on. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you have something going on and you feel different than you used to feel and you can't put your finger on it. So my husband's been having a breathing problem. He's been to various doctors. Pretty much everything having to do with any sort of breathing problem has been ruled out. He is going to go for a sleep apnea test, but his doctor does not, and this was a specialist. The specialist is like, you really don't have any, I don't know, what do they call it? Like markers for, or, whatever. You don't have whatever it is that would make me think that you have apnea, but he's probably going to go do it just because he's done everything else and nothing is working. And he actually didn't think this was working, but I asked him to try this. My sister's a nurse, and my sister said, are you sure he's not having anxiety? And I said, oh yeah, I actually think he is having anxiety. That's exactly what I think he is having. He doesn't feel like he's having anxiety. He doesn't feel like that's what it is. And I've noticed in my own life that I don't feel like I'm having anxiety, but I think that is actually what's wrong with me. So it may be that you're having some anxiety. Don't know. Are you going through a tough time to where possibly whatever's going on with you could possibly be anxiety? Let's just word it that way. So I got him some ashwagandha. Now this is actually my bottle. His bottle is a little bit different. This one says extra strength. He's taken something that's not extra strength. He's the one with the issue. He started sleeping so well. I'm like, I need the extra strength. Now, the interesting thing about ashwagandha, I'm having hot flashes, and I have something I take for hot flashes. Y'all are gonna think I'm like I'm the crazy supplement lady. This is what I take, and this is well known that this is good for hot flashes. So this is what I take for hot flashes. It just says menopause support. It doesn't say what exactly, but that's what it is. It's hot flashes. Okay, I started taking this. Here comes the train. I started taking this, and I take it right before bed because I want to go to sleep, right? And it does help to sleep. The funny thing is the hot flashes pretty much went away at night. Now I'm still taking this because I really don't like hot flashes. Let me tell you, I'm sick of them. And I take this, like if I'm going to a house where I know they keep it pretty warm and I'm going to clean it. My mother, I love my mother, but she does keep her house a little bit too warm. She didn't used to, but it's just age and different things. It's just the way it goes. And I take one of these before I go to my mom's house. I mean, it helps. What can I say? It helps. So it does help cool you down. It's not perfect. It helps cool you down. But the funny thing is, this cools me down so much that sometimes at night I'm a little bit cold. I was cold last night, and I can't quite figure out. It's very strange. Last night I woke up and I was like, I am freezing. And it was 60 degrees outside overnight. It was not cold here. We've had a cold snap, but this was not it. So anyway, I'm really liking the ashwagandha. Again, it's Spring Valley. I've just stuck with it. It's working. Again, you can buy much more expensive brands, but I'm enjoying this. Now, Spencer didn't think this was helping him with the breathing, and he got off of it. It wasn't perfect. Okay, his breathing wasn't perfect. I felt like it had been cut about in half, just from what I was noticing from being around him. He didn't think it was helping, and he got off it. And I noticed he was getting his supplements together. He sits here at the table, he gets his supplements together, and he has his we both have a little supplement thing that we use, actually big, that we use. And I noticed his bottle was not out here, and I said, okay, and I noticed his breathing was worse. I had noticed it, but I thought maybe something was going on. I said, did you stop taking the ashwagandha? Yeah, it wasn't doing anything. And so I didn't say anything. And then he thinks I'm kind of pushy know-it-all sometimes. So a few days later, I said, I don't want you to think I'm being pushy and know-it-all, but I feel like it really actually was helping. And so he said, if you think it was helping, I'll start taking it again. So I was like, okay, because I did buy you extra bottles. I mean, there's no reason not to. It's not like we don't have some. Okay. Another thing that really, it kind of helps you remain calm. Now, it doesn't say that on here. It says sleep support, bone, and muscle health, and it also helps headaches. It doesn't say that on here, but it does help migraines. A lot of people swear by magnesium for migraines. If you haven't tried it and you have migraines, I would just try it. This brand is not expensive. Again, this is not an expensive brand. Very easy to find right there at Walmart. They sell Spring Valley on Amazon as well. If you don't feel like going to Walmart, it's more expensive. It's more expensive on Amazon, but if you want it delivered to the house, they will deliver it to you. Okay, so this is just, it says high absorption. It's 200 milligrams. It says chelated blend or chelated. I don't remember what that word is. I've heard, I've read about it before, but I don't remember how you pronounce it. Supports sleep quality, essential for formation of bone, as well as supporting nerve, muscle, heart health. So I take this right before bed, and this also, I actually feel like I'm about to nod off. So I take it right before I go to bed, like right before. So I think it's kind of wears off after a while. Like when I first took it, I was like, I got to go to bed right now, like right now. But now I can take it 30, 45 minutes ahead, and it's not, I don't feel like I'm just going to like, it's not quite like that. But yeah, at the beginning, it does do that. Things sort of wear off after a while. They're not quite as strong as they used to be. Okay, turmeric, curcumin. Me trying to speak something Indian, it's not happening. General wellness. I would say this is also good for your immune system. It doesn't say that specifically on this one. It says supports healthy inflammatory response. Everybody knows pretty much turmeric is for inflammation. Promotes cardiovascular immune. It does say immune, joint and skin health. Okay, I've never read all that part, so I didn't even know about that, but I did know it was immune. But it just says general wellness. So I'm taking it for basically for pain control, joint pain, whatever. I have arthritis from, I think I had it before I started cleaning houses, but I definitely have it now. So 23 years of cleaning houses. Yes, I have arthritis. So fun. Now, the last of my Spring Valley is the B1. I take this for my stomach. It has different things. This says metabolism support. It's vitamin B, which is thiamine, supports healthy energy, metabolism, and nervous system health. I take it for acid reflux, and I learned about this. I don't know that Dr. Berg, I watched Dr. Berg on YouTube. I don't know that Dr. Berg said it, but I read it in comments. I'm really big on reading comments, especially on, I read comments all over YouTube. Just anything I'm watching. I love to read comments. I don't know why. It's like a weird obsession I have. But if you read comments on Dr. Berg's videos, you learn all kinds of things. And so you can take this like, I don't know how many times a day it says. I will say, generally speaking, I would take these exactly as directed. I wouldn't take extras. Sometimes I veer off of that, but I want to see if it says you can take it more than, I take 3 a day. It just says serving size 1 tablet. I take at least 2. And sometimes I remember to take 3. Yeah, it doesn't say. But I take that for acid reflux. So basically I'm taking it with meals. But I do kind of usually forget at lunch. But pardon me. I do have some in my purse if I could remember to take it. Okay. Okay. Real quick, joint health. This is compared to Move Free Ultra, which Move Free Ultra cost a fortune. So I get this. This is the members mark I get at Sam's. And I'm sure Costco, if you go to Costco, I bet they've got their own brand as well. It's just the joint health. And it's compared to it says up here, Move Free Ultra, which like I said, it costs a freaking fortune. So I just use this. And again, I have joint health. I have joint issues. So I take that every day. Where do I want to go from here? The DHEA, I learned, pardon me, I'm going to need some water. I learned this from Dr. Berg as well. This is menopause support. I take 2 a day. I think he said try to just take 1. I have serious menopause issues. Just keeping it real, very serious issues. And I take 2. I take 1 in the morning, 1 at night. What does it say on here? Just serving size 1. It doesn't really say. Yep. Okay, so this one I get on Amazon. It's from Douglas Laboratories. I'm not sure how I picked that. I just probably got on Amazon, looked for it. Now, this is not, this says I'm using the Now brand. This is NOW Now brand, whatever, however you call it. This is Fenugreek. I'm not using the Now brand, but I reuse this bottle. And so actually, I think I'm taking 1,500 milligrams. I'm not even sure about this. I marked that out. That's probably because the other bottle says that, but it probably depends on how many pills you take. So this says serving size two vegetarian, whatever, capsules. It says it's organic fenugreek. Huh, interesting. So that brand says it's organic. I don't remember which brand I'm actually using, but there's nothing wrong with this brand. It's fine. This is for blood sugar support. Now, what does it say on here? Just doesn't really say, I don't think. I don't think it says on here. One of the oldest herbs traditionally used in ancient Greece, Egypt, and China has been used in a variety of ways and can be added to hot water to make tea. I just take it as a pill. That just doesn't agree with me at all. I don't think that would be good. Take 2 capsules 1 to 3 times daily. So you can take a lot. 2 capsules, 1 to 3. So I take this for blood sugar support. If you look it up, if you look up blood sugar, supplements, this will come up most likely. I mean, it'll pretty much come up. There's a whole slew of blood sugar supplements. If you're having a blood sugar issue, my blood sugar my A1C was basically inching up. The doctors don't do anything until it gets to a certain point, and I'm not waiting around on the doctors. So that's how that went. Again, I'm not a doctor, not a medical professional at all. This is just what I've researched. I think I mentioned already, I spent about a year trying different supplements for my blood sugar, and this combination is what's working for me. Now, this is the one time I veer off the 1 a day. I used to take 1 a day, and my blood sugar started going up again, and really, I probably need to get off a lot of the junk food. I do eat junk food. No lie, not going to sit here and pretend. I do like me some junk food, okay? I could probably get off a lot of that and do better. So I'm taking 2 of these now, and because I do like my chocolate, okay? I really do. Which, by the way, causes hot flashes. So you eat your chocolate, you have your hot flash, and then you're going to need some of this if you're my age. I didn't even know chocolate was doing it until a friend of mine told me that, and I was like, oh, my life is over. I'm having hot flashes, and I can't have chocolate. Come on. Okay, so anyway, these are the 2 that work for me, but there are tons, and I do mean tons, of blood sugar supplements. This one, it's hard to find. Alpha lipoic is what you see everywhere, but this is R-alpha lipoic. This is what you're looking for. This is a good brand. I do recommend this brand. This is the one that works for me. Again, when you look up R-lipoic, if you put that into a search engine, what comes up usually is not that, but this, alpha lipoic. That is not what you want. Alpha lipoic is good for blood sugar, but R-alpha lipoic is much stronger. So if you're really wanting to support your pancreas and your healthy insulin levels and that kind of thing, that's what you want. Now, I have this book, and y'all know, the ones of you who watch me for any length of time, I've decluttered many, many books. Most of the books, okay? I hung on to this one. My mom gave me this book. I'm not going to say it's the best book in the world, but I like it. I just like it. Let's say you have an autoimmune disease. I just saw one. Here you go. Menopause related problems. I just turned right to that. Let's just say you're having menopause related problems. Okay. And then here's what they tell you. This is a short list. Usually the list is very long, but this is what they tell you to try. Really, soy is terrible for you, but it does help with menopause. Supposedly it causes cancer. So kind of a toss up. I try not to use it, but it's, if you're having bad enough. Now, see, here's one, migraine headaches, and it goes into what you can try for migraine headaches, okay? Supplements to treat migraine headaches. So that's why I keep this book around. I'm not saying you need to buy it. It's from 2008. I don't know if it's been updated. It probably needs to be if it hasn't been. But if you had a certain autoimmune disease. I actually have an autoimmune disease that has never really been diagnosed, which makes it so much, it's like a big crapshoot. What do you do? Well, I'm on something called low dose naltrexone, and we can talk about that in another video if you want to. It's not really a supplement, it's actually a drug, but we can't talk about it. It's actually it can be a miracle drug for some people. It was a miracle for me, 100%. I love it. And it's also good for the C virus. Just saying. They've been doing some research on it, so it's supposed to be good for that. But I mean, I still got sick. I'm not saying I didn't get it, because I did. Okay, here you go. Scleroderma is a very horrifying disease. Supplements to treat scleroderma. Now, is that going to cure you? No. But it may help you. You know what I'm saying? The idea, oh, this is, my friend has this. I got a friend that has this. I do not know how to say this word. And literally when she told me that she had this, I looked it up and I think I made a copy. I'm trying to remember. I might have sent her a picture. I made a picture or sent her a copy of this. It's 2 pages worth of stuff. And look here, vitamin C is one of the ones. So this whole list, 2 pages, and down here somewhere it mentions vitamin C. So yeah. Like I said, I'm not telling you to go out and buy a book, but it's one of the few books I've kept, so there's that. Okay, let's talk lipids. I've been talking forever. Cinderella fan said, can you make a quick video? 40 minutes later, no, Cinderella fan, I cannot make a quick video. I could talk about this for a year. Lipid balance, this one's empty. Progressive, this is a good brand. We really like this. What are lipids? Well, your cholesterol panel. So your HDL, your LDL, your I'm talking fast, super fast. Triglycerides, all of that will help you. This has red yeast powder. It has something I cannot pronounce. It has curcumin. It has something else it's got other things I've never heard of. It's got vitamin B3. Serving size, it says 3 vegetable capsules. So I started taking, okay, I'm going to try to say this quickly as possible because this is dragging on, but my LDL levels started really rising, and I get my blood work done every 6 months, and it was going up by a certain percentage, or I mean, the percentage probably varied, but every 6 months it was going up. It wasn't like it was horrible and I'm going to drop dead at any moment. My regular doctor started up about, you need to take a statin, and I'm not a statin person, okay? If you're taking a statin, I'm not telling you to get off of it. I've just done enough reading that for me, my numbers do not warrant needing to be on a medication. I can read the panel when I get it, when I can read the blood panel, I know what it says, I know what the highs and lows are, and there was nothing on there saying I needed to take Crestor, which is what he told me to take. And interestingly enough, I started seeing the nurse practitioner. She's more into supplements than much more into supplements than the doctor is. He's my longtime doctor. We kind of got at odds about several different things, one of them being Crestor. And again, not telling you not to take your Crestor. Take your Crestor. If your doctor told you to take it, take it. I just don't do everything. I'm not that type of person. I'm going to do this first, which is what I did. So, Ranger, are you burping? I swear. I think he's just moaning. I don't know. He's sounding like it was bleh. Anyway, hilarious. But Spencer takes this. He has high triglycerides. So I was like, I'll just take this. And I think I was taking 2 a day for quite some time. My numbers went down. They did. They went down. And again, they weren't sky high. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, you're going to die of a heart attack. It was nothing like that. It was nothing even to get excited about, but it was going up with each visit. So I agree with getting on a supplement. I did not, and this is not what she told me to get on. She told me to get basically on omega-3 is what she told me, which I didn't do. Spencer takes this. I don't take this. And actually, I think he's taking the prescription stuff now, which I don't agree with him on that. I would keep taking this, but interesting story about that is triglycerides are high. The cardiologist numbers are completely different than the numbers he got at his regular doctor. Now, who do you believe? You would think you'd believe the cardiologist. The cardiologist numbers are way off. Because I told him, I said, how can your numbers be that high? The last time you went, your numbers were your triglycerides were pretty normal. And they were they were quite normal. Maybe a little high, but not high enough to get, high normal possibly. Nothing crazy. So the cardiologist did his blood work, and they were like, "Oh, your triglycerides." I'm going to say it was like your triglycerides are 260, which is pretty high. I think they want it to be under 150. This is not sky high again, but it's higher than it needs to be. I said that's weird because it's your doctor visit last year. They were nothing like that. Then he had to go get his thyroid levels checked. Of course, at that visit, they check everything at his regular doctor, and his numbers were nothing like that, nothing. So he's on the prescription, and he started having hot flashes. I said, "Don't you think it's that prescription you're taking?" Because he thought it was something had to do with his thyroid medicine. I said, "I think it's that prescription you're taking." I said, "Wasn't that? I think that's one of the side effects." I swear I thought I read that's one of the side effects because I read about it before he started taking it. I was like, I don't know about that. It's supposed to be just. The prescription is supposed to be EPA is what it's supposed to be, just EPA. So it's not this, it's just that, and it's stronger. So it sounds okay, but I don't know, y'all. I'm real wary, just very wary. I don't think he's bad enough off to warrant any of that. Anyway, getting back to this, highly recommend this if you're having lipid issues. If you're having now his HDL is still super low. My HDL, I don't know why, is sky high, and that's the number they want to be high. They want your LDL, L low. That's how you remember it. HDL, H, high. They want your HDL to be high. They want your LDL to be low. His LDL is, I think, okay, and his HDL is way low, and I would love for his to be a lot higher than it is. So it hasn't fixed that, but it did fix the triglycerides. So I'm not saying for sure it would fix your problem, but it's fixing my lipids, so it's doing something. So after I got my blood work done, then I scaled back, and I'm taking like one day I'll take 2 and one day I'll take 1. Instead, I'm not taking 3 like what it says. So anyway, that's just a little tip there. What else do we have here? Oh, a couple other things I take for my stomach. These really aren't supplements, but just things I've learned over the years. Again, I have acid reflux problems. Beano, people think it's just for gas, and a lot of times the acid reflux would cause me to have pains up in my rib cage at night. So like when you're laying flat, that's when your problem really gets worse. And I would have these horrible pains in my rib cage. And those are actually gas pains, if you don't know. There's different ways of having gas pains. So I just actually take this 2 or 3 times a day. I just half it. I don't take a whole one. And this is the Walmart equivalent. And I don't know why they changed the formula, y'all. This actually used to work really well. Then they changed the formula. I don't really find it to be helpful, but it's basically the generic of this, but this is a capsule and this is like a pill. So they don't look the same. And I take both of them at the same time. So I take the capsule and then half the pill. But anyway, this used to work better. They changed the formula. I don't know. It makes me angry. What can I say? What else have I not talked about? The cats. Let's talk about the cats for just a second. Slippery elm. No, this is for people. Slippery elm is for diarrhea. However, I'm not really sure why, but I know the veterinarian has told me that with cats, I don't know if it's just with boy cats or if it's just cats in general, because they're just such little creatures, their bladder and their colon is all very, squished together. It's all in the same area. So if they're having a colon problem, it can cause a bladder problem. If they're having a bladder problem, it can all kind of work together. So this is for diarrhea, but I'm finding it works really well for bladder issues for my cats. So I'm telling people who come to me with, my cat's got this bladder issue, what do I do? Well, the first thing you do, if your cat is doing anything unusual, going outside the box, the first thing I tell people to do, you need to go have your cat checked for a UTI. Always, always have your cat checked. You do not want your cat to have a long-term UTI. It's not comfortable. If you have a UTI, it's not comfortable. Your cat is also not comfortable. Your cat can also have something that's just simply inflammation, which is called interstitial cystitis, which people get. I actually have interstitial cystitis. I almost never have a flare, so that's the good news. Thank the Lord, because it's very debilitating, extremely debilitating disease. If it's that debilitating in a person, imagine what it's doing to your cat. Your cat does not show pain like a person does, okay? Your cat has a very hard time. Believe me, I know. I've had so many cats, okay? I have like 8 cats right now. We've had so many cats. We've had so many cat issues. Your cat is having a difficult time communicating with you about its pain level. It's using the bathroom outside the box, okay? That's what it's trying to tell you. I'm having pain. If your cat was not having pain, it would get in the box and it would sit there and it would go like it's supposed to, okay? That's almost 99% of the time. Sometimes it's behavioral, and the vets will go on and on about behavioral. I cured everybody. None of it was behavioral. They told me, change the litter, change this, give him a box with dirt in it. I'm not even kidding. They told me so many things. And God bless them. It was a behavioral vet, and I asked her opinion, okay? There are many things you can do for a behavioral problem, but I'm telling you right now, 99.999% of it is not behavioral. It is your cat is asking you for help. Slippery elm, very helpful. If it doesn't help, don't give it. Now, let me show you what I do, because this is a powder. You can get the capsules and just open a little. You don't want to give them much. A cat does not need much of this. I'm going to try to fish just a teeny bit out of here, hopefully, because I've used this bottle for a long time. It's getting a little bit low, but let me just get a little pinch out of here. When I tell you, you want a little pinch, this is what I'm talking about. You see this tiny little? That's actually probably more than I give. You give them a tiny, tiny, tiny little pinch, okay? You don't give them a lot. They could overreact to it. You just give them a tiny, tiny little bit of this. Very good stuff. Can't talk about it enough. Good for people. I was actually taking this for a while. I got some capsules for me. I haven't been taking it because it didn't seem like it was working. I thought I would try it for my bladder problems because I'm in the bathroom all the time. Cohosh for cats. It's marketed for junk. I was gonna say junk. It was marketed for junk health. No, joint health. Marketed for joint health. But this is also very, very good for their bladder. Very good. Now, I have one cat that is a throw up cat, and if I give her this, she throws it up. So I just don't give it to her. If the other cats are having bladder issues, I give it to them. But what I'm giving everybody right now, I'm not even using this anymore, although I highly recommend it. If you're having a problem, start using it. But this is what I just used for everybody. I cleared everybody up with this, and there's an IAMS bladder food. There's lots of different bladder foods you could try, but IAMS had a bladder food come out, and it's kind of like a burgundy, almost plumish, not plum really, but kind of, I don't know, reddish burgundy bag, pinkish. And we use that food, and we use the slippery elm. Highly recommend this if you got a cat using the bathroom outside the box. Just saying. There's a reason why your cat's doing that. And if they're pooping outside the box, there's a reason. I'm trying to remember, I have a friend that's got rag dolls, and her cat, we really did think it was anxiety. Her cat was using it outside the box, was pooping. He might have been urinating some, but a lot of it was poop. And his poop looked normal. It wasn't weird looking. The cat had a UTI. So you just never know. So when your cat's doing something, whatever, outside the box, it's just a really good idea to go have a vet visit. It really, really can't stress it enough. That's just my number one. Please take them in. It's a cry for help. They want to use their box. Cats are attracted to the litter box. They want to go in the box, okay? They don't want to go outside the box. They want to go in their box, and they will go if you will get them well. Nutribiotic, this helps so many things. I couldn't even tell you how many things this helps. It's grapefruit seed extract. It tastes terrible if you're having stomach problems and you can choke it down. I mean, I'm one of these people, because my stomach problems have been so bad, I can choke down nearly anything. This tastes terrible, but I put a few drops in some water, do a little stir, and I just drink it down. Is it good? No. Does it help different problems? Sometimes does my stomach feel better when I do this? Yes. I've used it like with an applicator and gotten rid of yeast infections that would not go away. Would not go away. Put it in like water, mix it around, get an applicator, and just, I know this is gross, just shoot it up in there. You'd be surprised what you can fix with this. So you can go online and look at it and probably find lots of different uses if you have just any sort of problem. I can't even remember all the things it can fix, but I would just say you might look into it. So anyway, I do like this. So it's just grapefruit seed extract, liquid concentrate from Nutribiotic, and it does taste terrible, but it's good stuff. And you can also put a drop of this if you use sinus rinse. You can, like the Neil Med or whatever you're using, you can put a drop of this into your sinus rinse bottle, and it might also help clear your sinuses out. Might just give it a little extra boost, just a little extra. Okay, I know I've just gone on forever. It's been almost an hour. Cinderella fan has dropped dead over there. She's exhausted from listening. She fell out a long time ago, but we take a lot, but we really we want to be healthy. What can I say? We want our immune system to be very, very strong. We want it to be as strong as humanly possible. So these are the things that we do. I'm starting to lose my voice because I've been talking so long. Love you guys. Thanks so much for being here. If you enjoyed this content, please leave me a comment. Please like the video. Subscribe if you haven't. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.